respected Ala Venkateshwarulu Garu, Sri V.V.N. Satyanarayan ji, Sri P. Shivakumar ji, Sri Lakshman Rao, Sri Janga Krishnamurti ji, Sri Pottu Raju ji, Lokawar Prasad ji, Sheikh Masanolu ji, A. Ramakrishna ji, Vidyasagar ji, Professor Subramaniam, Professor Rangayya, Professor N. Sukumar, many other intellectuals, public activists, and citizens of Guntur and areas nearby. I must first of all begin by expressing my gratitude to B.P. Mandal Sena for this extraordinary honor that you have given to me on my first visit to Guntur. My friend Satyanarayan ji said a lot of nice things about me. I do not deserve that. When I hear such beautiful words, I often wonder, who are they about? It's not about me. It is their generosity. But more than that, I think it is our way of remembering people who are greater than me, who are our teachers, our great leaders. I was very touched that you remembered my guru, Kishan Patnaik, from the socialist movement. People like Kishan Patnaik trained me to think. They taught me how to think. He was a leader from Odisha, a socialist, a Lohiite. I came from Rajasthan and Haryana. And in my personal experience, I had not suffered much of caste discrimination. I could not understand this phenomena. People like Kishan Patnaik ji taught me how to think about caste, how to think about reservations, how to think about social justice. So I take it that when you say all these wonderful words about me, they are not about me, they are about them. I was very touched this morning to go and witness and also have an opportunity to garland statues of Sri B.P. Mandal and Karpuri Thakur. I must pay a special thanks that here in Andhra Pradesh, in Guntur, some people remember these great sons of India. Mandal's name, some people have heard because of Mandal Commission. But Karpuri Thakur, very few people know about him. When Karpuri Thakur was the chief minister of Bihar, his father was still practicing as a barber in a village in Bihar. This is the situation. And his father was treated like a barber in the village while his son was the chief minister. These are great people we should remember. And I am so grateful that This morning when I heard BP Mandal Johar, Karpuri Thakur Johar, Baba Saheb Ambedkar Johar, Periyar Johar, Mahatma Phule Johar, Savitri Bai Phule Johar, Shahu Maharaj Johar, that really gladdened my heart, because this is the true spirit of social justice in India. Karpuri Thakur is from Bihar. The slogan Johar is not from Bihar. This is mainly from Jharkhand and then to some Adivasi belt around them. And Shahu Maharaj and Savitri Bai Phule and Ambedkar are from Maharashtra. Periyar is from Tamil Nadu. This true memory of binding all of them with the slogan of Johar, that to me represents the true spirit of social justice. And I would really, really want to see one day when in a small town of Bihar, we have the statue of Periyar. That would be the correct way. This would be the way to thank people of Guntur about what they have done. So from the bottom of my heart, I really want to express my gratitude for this extraordinary gesture that we have done. Friends, I have been invited today to speak about delimitation. But I would begin by framing it in a larger context of what is happening in our country today. Because no one incident can be analyzed by itself. It is the larger context. Today, we are witnessing the dismantling of the Indian Republic. Nothing short of that. Today, we are witnessing mutilation and distortion of the Constitution of India. Today, we are witnessing attempts to kill democracy in this country. Today, we are witnessing an assault, an attack on the very foundations of India. This assault, this mutilation is not coming from outside. It is happening from within. It is coming from people who have used the Constitution to occupy the highest constitutional positions and then use it to destroy the constitutional structure of this country. This is the context in which we need to understand the question of delimitation. Vese, I wanted to ask, is English okay for everyone? Yeah? No, front rows are okay. I'm a teacher, a sports type teacher. So front rows give one answer and back rows keep quiet. So there are two different answers. Anyway, I will speak and then there would be Telugu translation at the end. Satyanarayan Bhai says he would do translation of that. In Telugu translation बाद में होगा, अलग से होगा. So, today, on every single issue, there is an attempt to destroy the foundations of this country. Take the Waqf bill, which came in the parliament last week. This Waqf bill is not about eliminating corruption in Waqf properties. It is basically about telling minority community in this country that you are a second-rate citizen. Your properties are not your properties. We can do what we like with your property. Like the Citizenship Amendment Act was not about Hindus of Bangladesh or Afghanistan. They have nothing to do with these things. Citizenship Amendment Act was only to say that Muslims of this country are a second-rate citizen. That was the only thing. So, every day something new is invented in order to create rift, in order to divide Hindus and Muslims, Hindi and non-Hindi speaker, North and South. Something is being done every day in this country. The unity of this country was achieved with enormous difficulty, with a lot of sacrifice. And today, all that is being undone. What is the way out? Who will defend this country? Because I fear that the ruling class of this country has completely sold out the national interest. Those who sit on the top of the pyramid of India, they have no interest in the future of this country. Their children are already going abroad. They are getting NRI, they are getting green card, they are becoming US citizen. They don't have interest in the future of this country. So who will save the future of this country? It is the Bahujan who will save the future of this country. It is the bottom of the pyramid. India is like a pyramid. The top triangle of that pyramid is the ruling class of this country. They are all Modi Bhakt. Here they say, Bharat Mata ki jai, but they send their own children abroad to US. The money for all these things that they comes from the US. They make their investments in Saudi Arabia. They earn their money from there and then come back and say Hindu ka raj hoga is desh. So the top triangle of this country has no interest in the future of this country. It is the bottom of the pyramid. And who is the bottom of the pyramid? SC, ST, OBC, minority, women, and very poor people from upper caste also. All of them have their roots in this country. Our children will stay in this country. We will have to face the consequences of this country. So, if we have to take on the challenge of attack on the foundations of this country, then two big forces will save India. One big force is social justice. Please remember, when Ram Janam Bhoomi agitation was taking place, when Mr. Lal Krishna Advani had taken out his Rath Yatra, who had stopped that Rath Yatra? Bihar, Lalu Yadav, forces of social justice had stopped it. If this country was saved from that attack, that was an attempt to again divide the country. It is sources of social justice which stood against it. And the second force which will save this country is our pride in our regions. Regionalism is not a problem of this country. Regionalism is the strength of this country. Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravid, Utkal, Banga. That is our country. India's unity, no other country takes pride in presenting its regions to the world. We take pride because I'm Indian because I'm Telugu. I'm Indian because I'm Bengali. No one can ask me, are you a Bengali? Are you an Indian? Are you a Tamil? Are you an Indian? No, sir. I'm Tamil, therefore I'm Indian. So, my rootedness in my language, my culture, my region, this is my strength. So, social justice and federalism, these two forces will save this country from being captured by forces of communalism, by forces that seek to divide, by those who want to establish authoritarian, anti-democratic rule in this country. That is why the question of delimitation is important. That is also why the question of caste census is important. Delimitation is not only about drawing boundaries. It is not only a technical administrative job. It is about deciding the federal balance of this country. Similarly, caste census is not only about counting which jati has how many numbers. Caste census is a social X-ray of Indian society. It is about finding out who has how much. How many IAS officers belong to which caste and community? How many businessmen, what kind of business goes to which caste and communities? Who has bureaucratic positions? Who has captured judiciary? Who has captured the media of this country? And who has captured economic resources of this country? Who has education in this country? Do we have equal opportunities or unequal opportunities? Caste census is not about counting the population size of different castes. Caste census is about educational and economic profile of opportunities available to different sections of society. These two things, to my mind, are the best bulwark against forces of disintegration in this country. Let me shift to delimitation, because that is what I have been asked to come and speak about. What is delimitation? Many people sitting here would know, but some of my young colleagues may not know. Delimitation is an exercise that was to be done every 10 years. After every 10 years, after every census, the boundaries of constituencies need to be drawn afresh. Why? Because population has changed. Guntur's city must have become much bigger now. So Guntur has what? One assembly constituency? Two. But maybe by now it needs 3. Because the population has increased in Guntur. People have moved from rural areas to urban areas. So delimitation is done in order to reflect the changing population share and therefore redraw the boundaries. So urban constituencies become smaller because more people have moved in there. Rural constituencies become bigger because population has shifted away from there. So delimitation is the name for redrawing of constituencies. But please remember, what we call redrawing has three different elements in it. One is, just as I said, Guntur population has increased, rural population has gone down. The same would be true at the level of states. Some states' population has gone up. Some states' population has come down. What should happen? The Constitution of India said that every 10 years, you should reallocate the number of seats for each state based on population. So, according to the original Constitution, when your population goes up, the number of seats goes up. Your population comes down, the number of seats come down. But, so it happened in 1952 to 57. It happened after 1961. It happened after 1971. But in 1976, this was frozen. The parliament said, we are trying to achieve population control and we do not want any state to lose their seats because their population has come down. On that basis, in 1976, the reallocation of seats was stopped. In 2001, it was stopped for 25 years. In 1976, it was stopped frozen for 25 years. It came up again in 2001. At that time, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. There was consultation in the Parliament, and it was decided to postpone it for another 25 years, till 2026. We are in 2025. And the provision is that when the census takes place next year in 2026, after that, delimitation will take place. This is what the Constitution says. What will happen? So the question that the country now faces is this: should the delimitation take place after 2026? Should it take place partially? Should it not take place at all? That is the question that India has to decide. It's a very major question. What is called delimitation has three components in it. One is reallocation of seats for different states. Some states get more seats, some states get less seats. Reallocation of seats for different states is component number one. Second component is, within a state, seats can be redrawn. The number of seats can go up. Now Andhra Pradesh has 175 seats, yeah? You can increase it to 250. Even if Andhra Pradesh becomes 300, it makes no difference to Telangana. So that's your internal matter. So first is external. Number of seats in Lok Sabha for different states. That is external. Second is purely internal. Within the state, should Guntur get 3 seats or 4 seats? Visakhapatnam, should the number of seats go up, come down? Total number of seats in Andhra Assembly, should it become 175, 200, 250, 300? That is the second element. The third element in delimitation is reservation of seats. Which seat should be reserved? Which seat should be unreserved? For SC, for ST, and now because of the constitutional amendment for women, there will be the question of which seats to be reserved for women. These three things constitute delimitation. Now, the debate is not about the second or the third. Second and third happened. They should be allowed to happen. There is no debate about that. The size of state assemblies should be increased. It is currently very small. Telangana should at least have 200 MLAs. Why not? Andhra should probably have 300 MLAs. Normally, for every 1 lakh population, there should be 1 MLA. So there is no debate about this because it does not affect any other state. It is purely an internal matter. Reservation of seats, they have to be done afresh. In some cases, new communities have become ST, so proportion changes. There is no debate about that. I will keep that out. I will only focus on the first element, which is the share of different states in the delimitation exercise, reallocation of seats. As I said, in 1976, this part of delimitation was frozen and the constitution was amended. Constitution said, whatever the share of population in the 1971 census, we will go by that, we will not change it. In 2001, again the constitution was amended to say that we will redraw the boundaries within the state, but we will not change the state quota. Whatever existed in 1971 will persist. But now, if delimitation takes place, reallocation of seats takes place on the basis of new population, what would happen? This I want all of you to understand. This will be based now on the census of 2026. You may say, how do you know what would be the census of 2026? Because there is a science of population. Because we have very robust projections. We roughly know what will be the population of each state in 2026. These are not my projections. These are Government of India's official projections about the population of each state in 2026. So, if we go by that, what will be the share of different states? Today, Kerala has how many seats? 20. If we go by population of 2026, Kerala's seat will become 12. From 20 down to 12, minus 8. Tamil Nadu. Currently, it has 39 seats. If we go by 2026, Tamil Nadu will be down to 31, minus 8. Andhra, today you have 17 seats. Sorry, 25 seats. Telangana has 17. Today you have 25 seats. By 2026 population, Andhra will be down to 20, minus 5. Telangana from 17 will come to 14, minus 3. So, both Telugu states put together will also lose 8 seats. So, Kerala minus 8, Tamil Nadu minus 8, Telugu states minus 8. Karnataka will lose 2 seats. Why Karnataka is losing less? Because a lot of population has migrated to Bangalore. Because of the expansion of Bangalore, Karnataka will lose less, only 2 seats. Odisha will lose 3 seats. From 21, Odisha will be 18. Bengal will lose 4 seats. From 42, Bengal will come to 38. Punjab will lose 1 seat. And Jammu and Kashmir will lose 1 seat. Now, can you see the pattern? Who will be the gainers? Uttar Pradesh will go from 80 seats to 91, 11 plus. Bihar from 40 to 50. Rajasthan from 25 to 31. Only 2 North Indian states will lose, which is Uttarakhand and Himachal. They will lose 1 seat each. Otherwise, all the North Indian states will gain. Why? Because population has changed. Population has not shifted. In North India, population has increased. In South India, population has gone down. And why? Because demographic pattern of population follow a certain logic. In places where there is development and literacy, in those places, population begins to decline. In places where there is poverty and lack of education, population keeps increasing. So that's why Kerala is the biggest loser. Kerala will come down from 12 to, it's a 40% loss for Kerala straight away. Look at the other result. The 4 states of Tamil Nadu, of South India, put together currently have 132 seats. Their combined share will come down to 106. Which is to say, currently, South India plus 1 state, either from the west or from the east, can come together to prevent any constitutional amendment. Because constitutional amendment needs two-thirds majority. So South Indian states plus 1, either Maharashtra or Bengal, they can come together and prevent any amendment to the Constitution of India against their own interest. But if this delimitation takes place, then that will not be the case. Or to put it differently, today, all the North Hindi-speaking states have 226 seats in the Lok Sabha out of 543. If the new delimitation takes place, then Hindi states will have 259 seats in the Lok Sabha, almost a majority, only 12 seats short of a majority that will come. Should this happen? That's my question. I know I speak in Andhra Pradesh. I know many friends here will confidently say, of course it should not happen because all of us are influenced by our own interests. When we think of larger questions, I don't want to be influenced by any of those things. We have to think of the larger national interest. What is in national interest? That is my only consideration for speaking. What I say in Guntur is exactly the same as I would say in Haryana or I would say in Kolkata. My own understanding, the point that I have made, I have written about it, It has been published here in Andhra Jyoti also. After a lot of thinking on this question, I have come to the conclusion that in the larger national interest, we should freeze delimitation permanently in this country. Which is to say, whatever the share was in 1971, let us just close our eyes and say, okay, that remains. Nothing will change. It is like the Places of Religious Worship Act. The Places of Religious Worship Act says that when you look at religious institutions, temple, mosque, gurdwara, whatever was their status on 15th August 1947, we will just accept it as that. We will not touch it. So I am advocating something similar. Whatever is the existing division of seats within Indian states, let us just accept it, not touch it, not increase it, not reduce it. Why do I say so? I need to explain, because I'm not saying all this only to please my friends here. When we sit here, we celebrate B.P. Mandal. We do not look at the fact that he was from Bihar. He was a Hindi speaker. We celebrate Karpuri Thakur. We celebrate Baba Saheb Ambedkar. We celebrate Mahatma Phule. We don't look at their language, their region. We look at the principle. So that is the principle I want to invoke. My thinking is that India's unity is based on a principle of non-dominance. There are many professors sitting here. We must have taught the theory of social contract. The theory of social contract is that although we actually did not ever write a contract, but underlying the manner in which our society functions, there is an unwritten contract. And that unwritten contract must be accepted in order for society to survive. My argument is, and I really want all of you to consider this, that underlying the Republic of India is an unwritten contract of non-dominance. No one area, no one community, no one language, no one religion, no one region will dominate this country and will suppress others. This is an unwritten contract. This has many implications. This has implications for religion, which is to say, a community, you cannot say we are 80% Hindus, we will do what we like with Muslims. No, you cannot do that. That is a violation of a fundamental contract written into the Indian Constitution. You cannot say that I have more population, therefore I will have more representation in parliament, and therefore I will do what I like. No, sir, that's not available. Especially on the North-South issue, there is a very delicate balance in the Indian Constitution. Our constitution makers did not know that populations are going to change. And they allowed, all right, plus one seat, one plus minus one seat, that's all right, that's a normal business. They did not foresee what was going to happen. They did not understand demographic transitions in India. As a result, we are today in a situation where we need to review. So you cannot say my population is more, I will dominate this country. Also, you cannot say I have more money, therefore I will decide everything in this country. That is also an important point. I will come to that, because that concerns South India in a different way. So the fundamental principle underlying the union of India is that of non-domination. non-domination based, non-domination in politics, non-domination in religion, non-domination in economy. This is the principle that pushes me to the conclusion that I have taken. From the point of view of national unity, I have a concern, and this is a concern I have written about. If you are interested in national unity, you want to ensure that there are no hard divisions, dividing lines in the country. India currently has 3 fault lines. Fault line, you can say, I don't call them divisions. These are cracks. Sometimes on the floor you can see a crack. So there are 3 kinds of cracks in India. Every society has its own divisions, cleavages, divides. If there is one divide which is this way and another divide which is this way, then it's all right. Then it does not cause very serious damage. But if you have 2 divides which are more or less the same, then it can come apart. In India today, we have 3 kinds of divisions. Because there are so many intellectuals here, I want us to understand the problem. There is the issue of language. There are Hindi-speaking states and there are non-Hindi speaking states. We all understand that. Most of the North Indian states are Hindi-speaking and there are non-Hindi speaking states throughout. Hindi is not a majority in this country. Hindi was the language of 42% people in the census of 2011. It may become 43, 44 now when the new census takes place, maybe 44. It is not a majority. There is no national language of India. Constitution of India does not mention any national language. It's only official languages. So there is not domination, but there is a underlying division. Hindi walas, non-Hindi walas. There is a division. Second, there is a division based on economy. What is that division? That states in western and southern India are much better off. They are more prosperous. States in north and east are much poorer. The difference is huge, not small. The per capita income of states like Chhattisgarh, Bihar, UP, etc. is 3 times less than the per capita income of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. So there is a linguistic division. There is an economic division of the country. If you draw a line from Ahmedabad to Hyderabad, everyone on that side of the line is poor, everyone on this side of the line is rich. So that's a second division. Third is a political division of this country. States where BJP is the dominant party and states where BJP is in contest but not the dominant party. In Andhra, BJP is very still a starter. Because of TDP, it has got seats, but on its own, it's not a very big force. In Tamil Nadu, it is not. In Kerala, it is not. In Karnataka, it is, but it's not a dominant force yet. In Odisha, they have won the election, but they are not a dominant force yet. It is contested. But in Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, they are the dominant force. So that is the third division. Now, if you look at all these 3 lines that divide India, they are not perfectly the same line. There is slight difference. The language line runs like this, economy line runs like this, and the politics line runs like this. But if you remember your primary school mathematics, we used to do LCM. What is common in all these three divides? There is some difference. Bengal and Odisha are non-Hindi speaking, so they are with South India, but on economic issue, they are poor. They are with North India. Maharashtra is BJP dominant, but Maharashtra is rich, relatively richer. If you look at all these three divides, what is common? All the South Indian states are always on this side of the divide. All the Hindi-speaking North Indian states are always on that side of the divide. This is the North-South issue of India. All the South Indian states are non-Hindi speaking, non-BJP dominant, and relatively prosperous. All the North Indian states are Hindi speaking, BJP dominant, and relatively poor. This to my mind is something that we need to be very alert and conscious about. Because these are the kind of things which pose a threat to national unity. So, how does it connect to delimitation? Now, if you look at delimitation, what would it do? All the South Indian states are losers in delimitation. All the North Indian states would be gainers in delimitation. This is not a conspiracy, but it so happens that this is going to be the case. So if you have, as I said, if there is one crack, one division like this, another division like this, then it's okay. It doesn't cause much problem. But if there's one division, on top of it another division, and there is a third division, then there is a risk. This is where we stand in India today. And our duty as someone interested in the unity of India, our duty is we should not create a fourth division which would lead to rift in society. Delimitation will do exactly that. Delimitation will therefore has the potential of weakening the unity of India. I'm not saying that this would lead to separation. I'm not saying that delimitation will lead to breakup of India, no. But it will weaken our national unity. There is already a sentiment in many of the non-Hindi speaking areas that these Hindi walas dominate over us. These Hindi walas dictate terms to us. And if this happens, then this perception gets strengthened. These Hindi walas have a majority on their own. What do I do in parliament? My votes do not make a difference. In any case, Hindi states will decide who is to become the Prime Minister. What can I do about it? This is not a situation that is good for national unity. So, my suggestion, as I said, my suggestion is not dictated by pleasing my friends in Andhra Pradesh. If the logic of national unity goes against you, I will stand here and I will say, no, you should change, you should compromise. But in this instance, it so happens that the larger national unity requires that we should not allow a fourth division to take place when three divisions already exist. Putting a fourth division on that would be a serious danger. What is the solution? My solution is a double bargain. There should be a double bargain between South India and North India. What is that double bargain? The double bargain is North India says, okay, I have more population, but I will not demand more seats in the parliament based on population. And South India says, okay, I have more money, I have more taxation, but I will not demand more federal revenue based on my prosperity. North India says that we respect the political representation of South India. Your voice is important. Simply because population has changed, we will not reduce your voice. And South India says, Bihar is poor, Odisha is poor, and we are the same country. We will share our resources and we will work together. We will grow together as a country. So, non-domination in politics by North India and non-domination in economy by South India. This is a double bargain. If we have this bargain, I think it strengthens the foundations of this country. Please remember, India is an extraordinary experiment. When India became independent, at that point, most people in the world said this country will not survive even 10 years. Books were written in 1960s saying India is about to disintegrate. And countries like India have actually disintegrated. Soviet Union, what happened to Soviet Union? It was like India. So many different diverse regions, languages coming together to form one country. Disintegrated. What happened to Yugoslavia? Disintegrated. India is one of the rarest of countries in the world where, despite deep diversity, no one national language. China has one language, but India, no one language, no one religion, no uniformity, and yet we have survived. How have we survived? So we are very happy that India is exception. But we should understand, why is India an exception? India is an exception because we learned to respect diversity. Because when Telugu Desham party came, we did not say, oh, Telugu Desham, you think Telugu is a Desh. This is against national unity. We will ban you. We will throw you in jail. We will do this. No, we said, Telugu Desham, that's wonderful. People of Telugus decide which party they want. They decide who they want as CM. That's perfectly all right. So regional parties came up. As you know, DMK at one point DK had tensions with Indian Union. But instead of saying we will put you in jail, we will ban DK, what did the makers of Indian democracy do? They said, this is your country, you decide the way you want to be. Respect for diversity, respect for linguistic differences, respect for regional sentiment. This is what has made India survive for 75 years. And today, exactly the opposite is being done. India has survived because we never asked this question, are you a Tamil or are you an Indian? We never asked this question. Because if I ask this question, I know what the answer will be. And it's best that we should never ask this question. We survived because we said, you are Tamil first, then you are Indian. That's lovely. This is my country. Today, we are being given exactly the opposite ideology. Today, we are being told, prove that you are an Indian. How are you an Indian? Hindi, Hindu, Hindustan is required to be an Indian. This ideology is exactly the opposite of the ideology of India. This doctrine, this ideology of Hindi domination, Hindu domination and making this country a country largely dominated by North Indian Hindustanis. That is against the foundational idea of India. If we want to survive as a country, if India is to survive, then we must stand up and say, sorry, this is not acceptable in this country. The idea of one nation, one language, one religion, one culture, this is a European idea. This is a German idea. This is not an Indian idea. My India is Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Maratha, Dravid, Utkal. This is my India. So it has to be based. The problem is today we have started confusing unity with uniformity. You have to be the same for the country to be unified. No, sir, I don't have to be the same. This was a European idea. And this European idea of unity as uniformity has led to so much of destruction in Europe. The whole of Europe is not bigger than India. India is bigger than the whole of Europe. But they have created 45 countries there. We are living as one country. How have we lived like this? We have lived because we never said one language, one country, one nation. Today there's this madness about one. Everything is one. One nation, one election, one nation, this thing. This obsession, this is a pure German, European destructive ideology. This has destroyed people. This has led to millions of people dying in Europe. We don't want to replicate that. Our unity is not uniformity. Please remember, there used to be a beautiful All India radio channel called Vivid Bharati. Vivid Bharati is the essence of India. And if we do not respect it, for 5 or 10 years, you may feel, great, the country, everyone speaks the same thing, everyone does this, one nation, one election, one nation, one textbook, English textbook with a Hindi title. You may feel very happy for 5 years. But my friends, you are sowing the seeds of destruction of this country if you do this. This is not the spirit. This is not the spirit of 3,000 years of India. This is not the spirit of freedom struggle of this country. This is not the spirit of the constitution of this country. And therefore, I would not take more time. I would once again plead with all of you, not only about delimitation, because as I said, for me, delimitation is a small example. What we face today is an assault on the idea of India. This idea of Vivid Bharati is being challenged. The idea that you have to follow one religion. And I tell you, today they are saying Muslims have to follow Hinduism. Today they are telling this to Muslims. Tomorrow they will say this to Christians. And the day after they will come to South Indians. They will say, you don't know your Hinduism correctly. Because you don't, in East India, Rama is not the principal god. The principal deity is Kali. It's not Rama. In fact, Hanumana is more important than Rama in East India. So first they will say this, first they will come after Muslims, then they will come after Christians, today Jains also, but finally they will come after Hindus. They will say, you don't know your Hinduism. They will come after Bahujans of this country. They will say, Bahujans of this country don't know how to practice Hinduism. Your Hinduism is not correct Hinduism. This is going to happen. So the only way, just to make the point that I wanted to make, that we face an assault on the very essence of India. We face an assault on the very idea of India. Any Indian, anyone who believes in India, in the idea of India, must stand up today and oppose this imported ideology. What they call nationalism. BJP is very fond of saying nationalism. Then nationalism is imported. It's a total German import. This is not Indian nationalism. It is German nationalism which they are trying to bring here. So anyone who is invested in India, in defending this country, has to stand up and argue for diversity, for religious diversity. Today, what looks like an attack on Muslims is not only an attack on Muslims. Muslims happen to be number one. Your number will also come, sir. They are number one, you are number 3 or 4. All of us will be counted in that. And therefore, today it is our duty to stand up and speak when we can speak, so that tomorrow when my number comes, someone else will speak. So, in the face of this assault on the idea of India, what will save this country is social justice. What will save this country is federalism. What will save this country is the long civilizational strength of this country, which has refused to follow uniformity. Our diversity will triumph. And I'm very sure that all of us sitting here today will ask these questions. One final point. I had expected the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh to take a position on this question. Because Andhra Pradesh, not only because Andhra Pradesh is going to lose 5 seats, but also because Andhra Pradesh has stood up Odisha, and one day I hope also Chief Minister of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. All of them should join. Increasing the number of seats within Andhra Pradesh Assembly is no solution. That's a different matter. It's a small matter that can be done, should be done. What is his position about allocation of seats in Lok Sabha is an issue that everyone in Andhra Pradesh would like to know. What is his position on the issue of imposition of languages is something that everyone in Andhra Pradesh should know. What is his position on the issue of imposition of religion on minorities is something that everyone should know. And I really hope that today's meeting will be a starting point where people of Andhra Pradesh will begin to ask this uncomfortable question. And I do hope that the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh will finally bow down to the wishes of the people of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you.